Yeah, Steve, can you hear me? That in the enemy is not in the last year and a half Good morning, guys. It's Tim Lankford. We're going to get started here in about 10 minutes. I apologize for the audio. We're trying to do this a little bit remotely, so appreciate your patience. We should be able to get going here in about 8 minutes. We're here in about 4 minutes when we go live. Guys, give us about 2 minutes and we'll be ready to go. Well, good morning, everybody. My name is Tim Lankford, and I'm the National Sales Director for Gordon Marketing here in the great state of Indiana. You have connected to our webinar that we do every Tuesday at 11 a.m. You can connect either here through your computer. If you're in front of your computer, you'll see a screen that I brought up that goes over basically an overview of our in-home presentation. 6 steps. I personally followed these 6 steps for the last 6 years that I've been in the mortgage protection field. Been in the insurance business for 23 years and running mortgage protection leads for the last 6 years. I've never done it more than 2 days a week, guys, and I've never made less than $100,000 running mortgage protection leads 2 days a week. Last year, I ran it 1 day a week. I'm here at Gordon anywhere from 7 to 8 a.m., anywhere to 7 to 8 p.m. at night, Monday through Friday. I run appointments on Saturday based on the sales presentation that you're going to hear. I ain't that good. Just ask my fellow team members here at Gordon. But what I am very good at is that when I'm sitting with somebody in a home, I'm bleeding on them. Help me with looking at me through the screen that you can't see me, but my tongue is in my cheek. I am bleeding on them in such a way that my concern for them shows. Everything that I want you to take away from over the next 45 minutes is that this is an emotional sale. Pastor Steve in church this last Sunday brought up a wonderful scripture, and it talked about how that we are emotional creatures, that God has created us to be one of strength and one of kindness, one of love, one of passion. If you are a passionless person, this sale is going to be difficult for you. If you are a person who has a little bit more at ease in your spirit of helping others, of being passionate about helping others, I believe that this sale is going to be one of the absolute easiest transactions you will have in your insurance business. And that's what I hope to convey. I've got a wonderful married couple sitting with me this morning. Jacob is happily married just to somebody else. But Rhonda has agreed to be his wife today, or maybe vice versa. Rhonda was able to pick from anyone in the entire building. She picked Jacob, so Jacob's got to feel awfully good about things that Rhonda has agreed to be his wife. So I hope again, through media, through this, hopefully a little bit better. I am getting, somebody send me a note, make sure, let us hear that if we're coming through a little bit better. The mic system's not the greatest when you're trying to do something outside of a headphone with the GoToWebinar platform, but we're going to make the best do of it. Stand by for just a minute, please. All right, guys. What I have sitting in front of me is the lead. I have my in-home, and you'll get my in-home fact finder for participating in this webinar today. You'll get my ELF, my emergency list of friends and family that I use in every appointment. You will also receive the rest of the PowerPoint of the slide that you see up on your screen now that talks about the 6 steps to the sale. I will send this out to everyone. One last note before I'm not going to go into explaining. I'm just going to let you guys kind of be an eavesdropper. You're just going to be eavesdropping in on one of my appointments. So I'm not going to be going into explaining what I'm doing. I just want you to get a feel for what a traditional appointment, a typical appointment is like in the home. I will make one last mention to this Thursday. If you are within 5 hours of driving, you want to be here at the Gordon campus. Thursday, we'll kick things off around 8:30 for registration. We will start very sharply at 9 a.m. How to make $116,000 in 2016, led by one of our good friends at Mutual of Omaha. Adam Shatty is the sales director for Mutual of Omaha, coming all the way over into the great state of Indiana to pour into our agents. Seating is limited. We have now almost 60 agents who have registered to come. We have seating for 75. Get me your name and tell me that you're going to be here, and I will reserve a seat for you. That's going to happen in 2 days. It will kick things off very sharply, 9 a.m. Thursday morning. Come in, enjoy some bagel or muffin and coffee on us, and then we'll end things with lunch at 1 o'clock. Jacob and Rhonda, it's terrific to be meeting with you guys, and if there's anything that I count as an honor is when I'm sitting in someone else's home to see how I can help them protect their mortgage. Jacob, it looks like you had filled out this response form for the lead that we affectionately call it a lead. I see it as a response form because you responded saying, yes, I'm interested in some information about protecting my mortgage. I say this because it was in your name, but 90% of the things that come through my home, my wife is filling out. Who filled out the form?
I did.
You did. Okay. Well, Jacob, I'm going to have to give Rhonda the fist bump here. Give me your thoughts. Most of the time that we receive one of these in our office, it's because a family senses, hey, something happens to me, I'm going to make sure the mortgage is paid off. But there may have been some other thoughts behind it of why you filled it out. Was that the biggest reason why you filled it out?
Yeah, that was definitely the biggest reason.
Okay. And that is notoriously the reason why. What we're trying to do is I'm impressed that even though Rhonda filled it out, Jacob, for you to be here, I'll give you a fist bump for that. So it's important to you too then? Or is this something that you came kicking and screaming and Rhonda?
Oh, it's something that we spoke about together.
Terrific. And as I shared on the phone last night, this is really just kind of a brief introduction of who I am and what we do. Here in about 15 minutes, we'll be able to to come up to some conclusions. As I promised you on the phone last night, it's about a 15 or 20-minute meeting here initially, so we see if how much interest there is maybe to move forward. As I was walking in, I saw the Wall of Fame. It looks like you guys have a couple children.
Yes, we have 2.
Neat. And was that a boy and a girl?
Yes. Yeah, we have John, who's 8, and Sally, who's 6.
Oh, I love those ages. Families mean so much to me. I have 4, so you guys still have a couple more to catch up. Is there still some more interest, or are you guys? Is it pretty much you're done?
I think we're done.
You're done.
We're done.
Well, you're bless you for not having that half child. I think the average family has a half child hanging out there, like 1.4 children. That just scares me. So that goodness, at 8 and 6, they're probably already involved with so many things. You guys feel like a taxi driver.
That's our part-time job.
Oh my goodness, how fun! I've got a 31, a 29, and a 26-year-old, and a 9-year-old. And I wasn't a glutton for punishment because I unfortunately went through a divorce many years ago, and I was happy being a single father, raising my boys, loving the Lord, and he brought this phenomenal woman into our lives. We were a big package, and she said she was just interested in being single. She was single, no children, but yet taking on us. And she was happy with just being married and just our children, my children. 9 years into it, she looks at me and says, "Why don't we have one?" I'm thinking, seriously? We discussed this a long time ago. No, I think I want one. And so anyhow, I've got 4 children and ecstatic with it. But I share all that with you for a very specific reason. That's why I got involved with this business. I have this type of protection in place. Hopefully not. Stranger things happen. From leaving with you guys, heading home, I could be killed. Now finally reaching that big 5-0, whether it's by a heart attack in the car, even though I've sat with so many families that said he was perfectly healthy, or by some drunk driver, we just don't know. So that's the main reason why I feel very confident that my wife will be taken care of with our daughter. That being said, the overriding factor that you filled it out, Rhonda, was it kind of in thoughts of that you wanted to make sure that when you die, that Jacob would be able to carry on, be able to pay off the house, be able to continue with living?
Yes, definitely.
Is that the idea? And have I got an amen from you as well, Jacob? Does that make sense? Okay, and that's all we do. It's a pretty simple process. We start with, looks like from the form that you sent back to us, you guys have, was it a $150,000 mortgage?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What does that translate over into a mortgage payment per month? $950. And Home Office did not share with me whether that was on a 20 or a 30-year note. How many years? It's on a 30-year note. My office does not do mortgages, but I feel remiss if I don't at least share with you, if your closing agent didn't share with you, if you just divide that house payment by 50%, so we're talking what, about $475, and you work it out with looks like with Freedom Mortgage. So you've got to be able to contact the main office there. Say, hey guys, I'm interested in taking 7 years off of my mortgage for the same payment. I kid you not. So if you, just real quick, and like I said, this isn't what we do, but I just feel bad if I don't share this with the folks I sit with. So if you're making $475 every 2 weeks, you'll cut 7 years off of that 30 years. So now your 30-year term turns into 23 years. I can share with you, I've a lot of homes in my days as far as getting into the rental business. I mistakenly got into the rental business, but very, very important. If that You can see the reason why I enjoy sharing that, because it's life impacting in my opinion. So Jacob, I've got your date of birth as 9/12/1980.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Does that put you what, around 23?
35.
You're 35, and probably more pertinent to say to Rhonda. Let's see, your date of birth is what? Oh, fun! In the same month as 9/1/85, and help me with my math.
30.
You're 30. Please don't even pretend. 30 is not a bad age. It really isn't. Give me kind of a snapshot of where you guys are at. Jacob doesn't come home tomorrow night. What do you have in place to be able to, and I guess we'll be thinking specifically about Jacob, what do you have in place that would help pay for the mortgage and take care of you and John and Sally?
He has $125,000 through work.
Through work, okay. So I'm going to go up 2 lines above that. You can see that I'm on my little fact finder here. So any insurance that you guys own outside of work?
No.
Nothing. Okay. And the $125,000 is through work.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Okay. Then how about for you, Rhonda? Anything that you own outside of work?
No, nothing outside of work.
And do you have some coverage at work?
Yeah,
Do they provide you?
10,000.
10,000. Okay. You probably already know this, but let me share it with you. Anything that we do today that would make sense to you budget-wise and you feel good about, you own this. Even if you guys should move, this protection stays with you. And it also gets canceled by you. Any day you say you don't want it, there's no tricks to it that you're going to have to pay 6 months in advance. No games. We don't play games. That protection being in place goes from job to job. And like I said, you guys probably already realize most insurances through jobs, should you quit or get fired or just change another job, you lose that protection. Is that how it's kind of set up at your work too?
Yeah.
Most places are. So that I commend you again for wanting to get together for that very special reason. That something happens now, you guys, it's crucial for especially if you change a job and within 90 days you have no new benefits. Oh goodness. Tell me a little bit about that, Rhonda. With knowing that, what would you do? You've got a $150,000 mortgage. You've got 125. Jacob has 125,000 in insurance. Let's say that stays in place. So you get a check for 125,000. You're able to bury him. So that usually goes anywhere from 8 to 12 to 15,000, depending on. So let's just call it an average of 10,000. So you've got $115,000 left with a $150,000 mortgage. And Jacob, annually, your income per year?
45,000.
45,000. And what's your occupation?
Marketer.
How about for you, Rhonda? Are you working outside the home?
Yes, make about 40,000.
About 40,000. And what's your title?
Executive assistant.
Going back to my line of questions there for you to share, what's in, besides the incredible emotion that's going on, what's the outlook for your family to be able to stay in the house, to be able to, because you've now lost $45,000 a year with Jacob. You've got $100,000 to live on, so basically you've got 2 years. If we think about his income, you've got 2 years to keep at least all the bills paid for, as long as you don't have to take time off and lose any work time. Give me kind of a state of the union of what would happen in 2 years.
I guess we'd probably have to move, or I'd have to pick up a second job.
second job in addition to your 40,000?
Right, or we'd have to move into a smaller house.
Okay. What, do you have maybe some family that you could move into?
Possibly. I mean, it's not
Okay.
ideal, but.
Okay. Yeah, but the plight of a single mom is extremely difficult.
Right.
I hear that. Jacob, in the same token, Rhonda's contributing a tremendous amount of income to household as well. Any thoughts? Because you no longer have that 2-year cushion, at least, as long as you died. So if you got to make a promise to Rhonda, if you're going to die, it's going to have to be on the job, okay? Or you're not going to be getting a new job. I say that with a little bit facetiously, but it's serious business, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
What would be your plan?
Without that second income and a buffer of 2 years, I have to move in with the grandparents.
Okay. And even though Rhonda filled out the paperwork, I sense you wanted me here too.
Yes.
And a lot of times, until somebody sat down with me quite a few years ago and said, hey, this is what is real, I was in the exact same position that you guys were in. We can fall back, though. Gosh, as young as you guys are, there may not be a whole lot in a 401 or a retirement plan. Do you have anything for Rhonda to be able to fall back on as well, Jacob?
No, I don't.
Any funds outside of retirement, savings or anything that she'd be able to fall back on?
No.
Okay, all right. How about for you, Rhonda? Were you able to bring over, before you took this last job, or anything that you're contributing to this job?
No, unfortunately not.
Okay. Well, guys, I'm at about my 15-minute mark. I'm a man of my word, so I am finished as far as doing the preliminary. I kind of see why we're here. You guys want to sleep better at night?
Yes, sir.
Is it worth it to you to? I probably have another 10 or 15 minutes here, and then as you can see on this side here, we're going to literally come up with one price here for each of you and one price here for each of you. So maybe about 10 or 15 minutes on this side, maybe about another 10 or 15 minutes here. Is it worth continuing?
I think so.
Yes, definitely.
Okay. With my license with the state of Indiana, I feel honored to be able to say it's unlimited and unrestricted, meaning that anything that I am able to help you with this evening, it's in place. We do a short questionnaire. We go through, a little bit of health questions here, find you the right product. One of the most important things, and one of the things I feel like is the biggest blessing for me to share with my families, is that as I walk out the door, you're covered. And we've got to get home office to look at your background and say, yes, they are, they meet our qualifications. And I'll make sure that we do the right paperwork to ensure that. A lot of my families I sit with feel real good when I can share, hey, walking out the door, you've got that coverage. Does that bring at least a smile on your face? Because, Jacob, you seem like you're sad right now. Just thinking about, okay, yes, thinking about, girl, you better not die. Is that what you're trying to say here?
Yes, sir.
Well, thankfully, you guys look as healthy as any of my clients. Let's find out with a few questions here. What kind of medications are you guys on?
No.
Nothing.
Seriously? Go again. We'll do another fist bump. You wouldn't, maybe you would. Of how many 20-year-olds, especially 30-year-olds, I sit down with, and they will bring out a bucket of medications. So, good genetics, or is that from mom and dad, or just good living, Rhonda?
I'd like to say good living.
Okay. I guess we need both, don't we? And as stud-worthy as you look, Jacob, I mean, you're there health-wise too, and go into surgeries for me as well. How about, have you ever had any surgeries?
No.
Nope.
No kidding. Wow, that's wonderful. So we're good when I talk about like cancer or heart, nothing with heart issues and nothing with diabetes or multiple sclerosis, nothing like that. Now, not necessarily extended family, but for you guys.
Nothing.
Terrific, absolutely terrific. How much do you smoke, Jacob?
I do not.
You do not. How about for you, Rhonda? How much do you smoke?
No, not at all.
And criminal background, Jacob? Any felonies or? You made me skip a beat there. So pretty clean criminally?
Yes, sir.
No sort of felonies even during those wild college days?
No, I was the DD.
Ah, terrific. Fair enough. Rhonda?
No, nothing.
I try to ask that seriously. I learned one time when I was sitting down, she was every bit of 75 years old, this little gal that was just a sweetheart. And, so I just said, okay, so your criminal background? And I was just, getting ready to pass on, and she kind of gave me that, mm-hmm. And I thought, oh, crud. She killed her sister when she was a teenager. When her sister was a teenager, she was in her 20s. She did prison time. So I'm thinking, I've got this sweet little lady. I'm thinking, so I've learned. So thank you guys for having a pretty clean, what people would say boring, but guys, that's wonderful boring. Always stay boring, right? Teach your kids to be boring. And then moving to a driving record. How are you guys? Any more than a couple of violations here in the last 5 years, driving record-wise?
No,
nothing at all.
Terrific. Jacob, do you have a military background?
No, I don't.
How about for you, Rhonda?
No.
And then U.S. citizenship or?
Yes.
Yes, okay. It does help if, with you guys, it sounds like this makes sense. Everything that we're doing here is making sense to you, but it does help sometimes to look at your mom and dad, for instance, Jacob. Do you remember or do you know, is both mom and dad with you?
Just mom.
Just mom. And when did you lose dad?
Long time ago. I was still an infant at the time.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. Did mom ever share with you that she had this type of protection in place that, when dad passed, she was able to have help with or pay off the house?
Part of the reason why that pushed me towards it was that she did not have this type of coverage, and she was stuck doing multiple jobs to help my brother and I.
Okay, fair enough. How about for you, Rhonda? Mom and dad still with you?
Yeah, they're both good.
And do you know if they have any protection like this in place?
Yeah, they don't, and that's another. And they're always worried about it. That's another reason.
Okay.
Make sure we take care of our kids.
Well, you'll have my card, and I'm always honored to work with any family or friends that would ever need anything like this. All right, guys. Well, I think I've got a good amount of information here. You know what? I'm thinking of one particular way to be able to protect this for you guys, with not only paying off the mortgage or a portion of it, because see, you guys can adjust the price. You have a $150,000 mortgage, we'll get you a price for that. You die, we pay off the house for Jacob, or vice versa. Sometimes it's not all the mortgage. I'll say most of the time, folks will look at it and say, that 75% of the mortgage, we feel good about that. And then what my office likes to do, I always like to sit down with the families I protect on an annual basis. So a year from now, we'd sit down and take a look at what we did, and that way, any other type of products that my office is able to help you with, whether it's with traditional life insurance or what we call personalized pension plans, we do all that out of my office, and we can talk about that in the future. But if we take just 75% of your guys' mortgage, let's call that $125,000. So I'm going to write right here in the middle, $125,000 worth of coverage. And I always like to show the families I sit with two ways that we protect mortgages. One is by an accidental policy. It's one of the least expensive ways to put protection in place, but that's the key word. What do you think of when I say accidental coverage?
The way it pays out is in the case of an accident.
There you go. Looking for a job? Want to do anything in addition to what you're doing? Because yeah, that's our whole ambition, is to be able to get the mortgage protection protected. This through accidental. In the same token, Rhonda, what do you think when you see here where I've got written full value? What would that mean?
That it would cover any type of death.
Perfect. What did Dad pass away? Well, it doesn't matter at that point whether it was an accident or full value. With Dad passing away, if he had this in place, even if it was a heart attack, you've got it. With an accidental, it would not have covered, but definitely with a full value. So as I open up my my little computer screen here, where were we at without these silly computers? And I'll go over here and show you what I'm doing here. All I'll do is put in the state that we're in. So we're in the state of Indiana. And I may have said that with a smile, Jacob, but I actually am looking for some folks. I've got so many of these responders. I love it if you would ever be interested. I mean, this is all I do, and I enjoy it. It's a blessing that I can share with folks and helping them get protection. But if Rhonda was ever interested, she'd be able to help a whole lot more people, because it's just easier, it seems like, for a female to sit down with families to get them protected. But this is as difficult as it is. We just put your age in right here. And you said today you're 35, right?
Yes, sir.
And put you in as a male. And here I change that to non-smoker, and I put in 125,000. So for the accidental for you, that would take you all the way until age 80. So this price does not change. And you can look at that chart there and see the reason why I like to quote accidental. The number one reason in your age group all the way up till the day you turn 45, you see that all that in blue?
Unintentional injury.
Yes, that's the number one reason why folks in your age group die. So that is going to be also the least expensive coverage. I love both of those. That makes your money work harder for you. So if you see here at age 35 for we'll just say $150,000 for you on the accidental, $22.10. And that's for $150,000. And for you, Rhonda, even though you're just a few years younger than Jacob, drastically even cheaper there, isn't it? Less expensive there. So you're $13.83 for an accidental. Now I'll go over here to the full value, and I look at a 30-year plan, even though I think that you won't need a 30-year plan, because real smart, if you guys can start paying your mortgage, half of the mortgage every other week. You're paying little over $900 a month, so you've got over $10,000 you're paying in a year. And if you cut off 7 years from your term, 7 times 10, $70,000 you just saved. We found money to be able to pay for your $28 life insurance coverage for the mortgage protection, didn't we? And maybe even a little bit more. But if I put, so we've got $125,000, and for $28.44 for you, Jacob. And if I go over here For you, Rhonda, I'm going to change that to, and you said you're 23, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then I'll change that to reflect you and keep the same amount. So for yours, for a 30-year coverage, for the full value, $19.70. So if we add up both of these, your $22.10 and $28.44 for you, Jacob, that looks like about what, $40.54. And then for you, Rhonda, for $50.54. Thank you. And then so we're looking at is that about $33? I went to public school, so you got to keep that in mind here. So for 150 and 125 for you, Rhonda, so that's $275,000 worth of coverage for $33. And if we look over here for you, Jacob, for the same $275,000 of coverage, $50.54. I always like to kind of make a quick summary here. So we've got $550,000 worth of coverage for about $89 a month. So about $3 a day, $90 a month, $550,000 worth of coverage. Tell me how that works in your budget.
In the case of an accident and you have both of these policies, does it pay out a full $275 or does it just pay out the $125?
Wonderful question. This $150,000 would pay out any time you die of an accident. So if you die of a heart attack, you're right. Instead of Rhonda receiving $275,000, unless the heart attack, and this has happened before, unless the heart attack is precipitated because of an accident. You're falling from a building, you're in a car accident. So keep that in mind. Let's keep it a little bit simpler. If you die of cancer after, a battle with cancer, the accidental policy will not pay out. So especially for now, while you guys are in the highest risk of an accident, I feel like it's a good use of your money. Keying in on everything is predicated on, does it make sense budget-wise? So can you guys find $89 a month for $550,000 worth of coverage?
I think we can.
Yeah, I think it's possible.
Take away the word possible, because I want to make sure that this feels 100% confident or comfortable, because you see, we can eliminate $13 here if you're not concerned about the accident to lower this. I really want to make sure that monthly premium isn't going to be, my goodness, you guys have, I'm going to think ahead here. I'm thinking spring break is right around the corner. Do you guys do spring break with the kids?
Yeah. Yes, we do.
That costs money.
Oh yeah, a lot of money.
So just being around the corner with this $90, is it still worth it to have that $550,000 in place? Can you find it and still do spring break and still keep food on the table, still keep your bills paid?
I think we can, or maybe adjust the numbers, eliminate maybe one portion.
You tell me what is least important to you, and we'll do that because I want you to feel comfortable here.
I think it'll eliminate the accident portion and go with the full value,
Yeah,
and maybe raise the level of the full value.
Yeah.
Well, let's do that one step at a time. So if we take out from the $89, because it sounds like you guys are convinced that it's something that you need on both of you because of what you guys are contributing dollar-wise, it sounds very important to. So that is agreeable?
Yes.
Okay. So if we put this together, we're talking about $35, right? Approximately, a little bit more than 35. So we'll call it $35.93. Call it $36. So that drops from $89 to $53 a month. And what that does, it gives you $250,000 worth of coverage because of $125,000 being on Rhonda, $125,000 being on Jacob, for $53 a month. Is that a good place to start? I say start because remember we're going to sit down in a year, and I want to be able to look at things, and at that time maybe you say, hey, you know what? Let's increase the coverage a little bit.
Yeah, I think I'd be more comfortable with 53 than 89.
If you're in my household, Jacob, talking to my wife and I'm going to have you listen to my wife.
Same
Is that fair?
Yes,
okay. It works out better in our household that way. So that does feel comfortable to you, Rhonda, though, that's not going to hurt spring break or food or bills?
Yeah, definitely.
The $53? Okay. Terrific. Well, all I need is your driver's licenses. I've got most of this first part of the information in front of me as far as name, legal name. I see here date of birth, and your social is Rhonda. Your social is Jacob. Okay, got your email address if you'd like to have correspondence from home office. I'll take that from you now. Okay, and your driver's license. All right, guys, this is going to be probably a pretty simple questionnaire. I think we've answered all the questions, but help me clarify a couple things. When we go through, neither one of you guys been in a hospital bed, so I click off no there. You're not confined to a nursing facility. Ever been diagnosed, treated, or prescribed medication, for AIDS or the human immunodeficiency virus, Lou Gehrig's disease? Stop me if you hear anything. Huntington disease, leukemia. Have you had one or more occurrence of metastasis or spreading of cancer? Are we good with all that?
Yeah, no, all of that.
Okay. The last 2 years, have you been diagnosed or treated for insulin shock or anything to do with diabetes?
No.
Past 5 years, have you had any sort of counseling for drug abuse or alcohol?
No.
Okay. And the past 5 years, have you been convicted or pled guilty to a felony? It sounds like you already took care of that for me, didn't you? Okay, and then primary beneficiary for you, Jacob, primary beneficiary for you, Rhonda. Then I'm going to go into contingent, your contingents behind you guys. We do not collect any sort of live money today. All I'll need for this page here that you see is just a voided check. That's the account that you want to pay from out of for your protection here. So we'll pick that up here in a second. Let me continue through with this here. Couple other questions. I'm going to be able to write no for any medications, right?
Correct.
Fantastic, guys. That is great. And then current height and weight, name of your physician. We'll get that in place, the date of your last visits. And then, sounds like, again, I can kind of quickly go through any of these other questions. Really are the last questions I need to go through, going over cancer and diabetes, anxiety or bipolar, depression, schizophrenia. Be nice, Rhonda. I know he acts kind of nuts sometimes, but no blood or protein or albumin or sugar in the urine, nothing with convulsions or epilepsies or seizures, ulcer, colitis, Crohn's disease, nothing like that. Okay. And then in the last 3 years, have you been unable to work at your job for more than 30 consecutive days? Okay, in the last 3 years, not been convicted of a misdemeanor or more than 2 moving violations?
No.
And then Daredevil?
No.
Not too much, and not much into rock climbing or skydiving, scuba diving?
No, I like my feet on the ground.
Not an airline pilot then?
No.
Okay. And then have you had a parent or a sibling diagnosed or treated by a member of the medical profession for cancer, heart disease, stroke, Alzheimer's disease, kidney disease, Huntington, prior to age 60?
No.
All right, guys. Just a couple places for you to okay here. And then last piece of business is just a voided check. as I shared with you, family means everything to me. I believe that's one of the overriding rules that God said, go and multiply. You guys have done well. You duplicated yourself. You've got a John and a Sally, so congratulations. Doing everything to protect them. I sincerely say, I commend you for doing this. We want more. We want to put more in place, but you've doubled your coverage for Rhonda. That's a tremendous blessing. And what Rhonda's done for you here has given you an ability not to worry about paying for bills for a good couple years. So maybe you can try to downsize, or when we get together maybe in another year, we can look at some other ways to increase some more protection. But I commend you for what you've done today. There's almost like a little secret in our business of protecting homes and mortgages, is that insurance companies, home offices, they don't like to pay out. They won't pay out if they don't know you're dead. So it's real important to establish some way of communication. I want you guys, you have my cell number, my office number, my email address, and goodness, I live 20 minutes away from you. So you've got contact with me. Jacob, I want you to continue to bless your bride and be able to put what I call an ELF, lovingly, endearingly put an ELF system in place. ELF simply means an emergency list of friends and family. What we do, and I want you to go ahead and grab out your cell phone there, and what I want to be able to do is have a system in place that upon your death, whether it's tomorrow or, Lord willing, many, many years down the road, but once you're in our family of families that we've had the honor to protect, we keep this on file for you. All Rhonda has to do is be able to tell a friend, anyone on this list. And these are going to be close friends to you, relatives, a pastor, neighbors who would know something would happen to Jacob just about as soon as you did. And with that person on our list, they will have a special packet of information from us that says you're an emergency contact for Jacob. Please call us. And all we're looking for is that person to call so that Rhonda doesn't have to go chasing down a death certificate, or she doesn't have to go chase down how do we get money for the family. We do all of that, and that's all initiated by one of the names on this list. Most people come up with about 10 or 15 names. Other folks have come up with just 4 or 5. But I want you to scroll on your phone right there, starting, now the first one I'm going to put down here, of course, would be Rhonda. Rhonda calls us. You can put her down as your relationship as a spouse, and then your phone number, Rhonda, is that the one on this form here? Okay. Who would be the next person that would be most likely to know if something happened to you that you'd put on this list that would call us, just in case?
My brother.
Your brother? Okay, and then we're going to go through this. We're going to have about another 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes. This list is crucially important as I'm speaking to the folks who are listening to us. Also, Jacob, we do not make this our mailing list. They do not get our marketing material, but if it's all right with you, they get one phone call. Would you find it acceptable if we call your brother and say, hey, and we're going to get there okay on being on your emergency contact list, and this one question, Jacob and Rhonda put some mortgage protection in place for their family. Do you have something like this in place for yours, or would you be interested in getting some information? Do I have your approval to ask them that question?
Sure.
Okay. And Rhonda, we're going to put the same ELF system in place for you. Guys, you've done a wonderful thing here. As I put all of our paperwork together, I put both of your questionnaires here. Here's your voided check, and I want to slide that back over to you and you, Jacob. Rhonda, is this still the right thing to do? Do you feel good about this?
Yeah, I feel really good.
You do. Oh, that makes me feel blessed as well. Well, from here, what we'll do, you'll hear from our office or from me here in the next a day or two, just to touch base, let you know everything's been submitted, and then you'll hear another. It may take a couple, 2 or 3 weeks. Usually just takes here within the next week or so. We'll get another phone call to say, hey, everything's great, or I've goofed up something and I got to come back out and I've got another question I've got to ask you because I messed something up on my paperwork. That's not unusual. So I'll forewarn you guys, I'm your friend now, okay? So you're stuck with me, but in a very positive way. I'm here when you need me. I will not make extra phone calls just to say, hey, how's the weather over there? But please understand, it is crucially important that I feel confident that I can be your go-to person when you have a question, whether it's about mortgage protection, traditional life insurance, those self-directed pension plans. We do all of these financial services right out of my office. Any questions, guys?
No, I think we're good.
Fantastic. Guys, I know you're clapping for Jacob and for Rhonda. They've been my guinea pigs, and I hope with the audio difficulties, we've got. It looks like. Do I have? Looks like we're well still over 40 states online with us, and I have not got any other feedback saying that the audio was that bad. I do apologize if the audio did not come through for you very well. My apologies. We are right now. Jason is in our IT department here. Jason is still cleaning up a couple videos of putting this same type of in-home presentation online. I want to help you make a minimum of $116,000 in 2016. An excellent way to get a jump start on that is to be on our LEAD program. You're not familiar with our LEAD program, go back to your email that you registered, open up that LEAD flyer, and it'll go over with you how to get started with our LEAD program. That's how I found literally 80% of my clients last year was off of what we call a LEAD. As you heard me describe it, I call it a responder form. It's somebody who's responding saying, please contact me. On our LEAD form, we've got a phone number, we've got the best time to call, we've got their date of birth, we've got co-buyer information. Nobody's going to go through that amount of effort if they don't want to talk to you. So take a look at that flyer. If you're interested, email me, as well as try to be here on Thursday, a day after tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. registration for Mutual of Omaha. From 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., lunch will be included. On Friday, so every Tuesday, a week from today, you're going to hear from Mutual of Omaha. Last week, one of our core carriers, just the application I took on Jacob and Rhonda today was a Phoenix application, if you're interested. And I was reminiscent in not going over the living benefits with them. They have them, even though I didn't go over them. And don't make a special emphasis on, oh, by the way, you have these living benefits. What was most important to Jacob and Rhonda was to make sure that house was going to get paid off. Now, when I go back to either deliver that policy or just as a follow-up phone call to congratulate them that Phoenix is doing such a better job of typically now within 4 to 5 business days, we're getting business placed. If you're looking for having business placed within 48 hours, do an e-app over with Mutual of Omaha. An e-app with Phoenix will get you an iPad after, I believe, it's just 25 e-apps, and you're going to get a free iPad from Phoenix. Every Tuesday, 11 a.m., our training webinar. Every Friday at 11 a.m., we have an agent who's making it happen. This Friday, you will want to connect. I'll send out that email on tomorrow or on Thursday to get you to connect on 11 a.m. every Friday Eastern Time. It will be an agent who is making it happen. And you know my sign-off, it is the same during every one of these. My sign-off simply says, you go be an agent who's making it happen. Go make it happen for your income. Go make it happen for your family. And if you take care of the last one, the first two are always taken care of. Go make it happen for a family and protect them. You go protect enough families, you will obliterate $116,000 of income in 2016. Guys, thank you for your patience of working with the audio up front, the difficulty. Look forward to the next time that we speak with each other. Many blessings. God bless you guys.